This is a HeadGum podcast.
I feel like instead of having a coffee fact for today's episode, we should have looked for tea.
Yeah, we're drinking tea, guys, because we've had a lot of coffee today.
Do you ever just over caffeinate and then you need to chill out, but you still have a podcast centered around drinking a caffeinated beverage, so you have to partake?
Yeah.
Is that relatable? Probably
had
not.
a lot of shots of espresso, a lot of cups of coffee. But
We were up super early, that's the thing.
We were up.
So, by the way, this is Coffee with Rachel. I'm Rachel.
I'm Chris.
And it's been one fucking week.
I don't even know where to start, honestly. There's been good stuff. There's been really bad stuff. There's just so much that happened.
I feel like the part of the podcast where we try to talk about what's been going on lately, currently, has been, obviously pretty somber. And I think, especially in light of recent events, I'm still going to talk about serious issues, and we're going to talk about what happened in Orlando in a little bit.
And with Christina as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we're still going to talk about them.
But we're not going to, one, do this every time, and two, talk about it for as long.
I think we just need to keep this podcast light. We can still give our thoughts, but I don't really want to make this something that you guys know that you're going to listen to and just get sad after listening to, because that's never with any of the content that I put out online.
No, you guys are coming here, a lot of you guys say,
to relax.
Your relaxing escape from the world and stuff, so let's keep it that way.
And we totally understand. But obviously things
we want
are important to talk about.
Acknowledge them and whatnot, yeah.
Especially when it comes to, other gatherings that we might have as a podcast, which we'll get into. But first, we are drinking tea today, so I have some peppermint tea.
I have some Earl Grey tea.
What brand?
Mine's Trader Joe's. Yours is
Celestial.
Yeah, okay.
It's like space tea. Sips tea. So aliens, they're real.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. I love peppermint tea. It's been it reminds me of Christmas time, but I drink it. Christmas in July, am I right?
I like peppermint too, but I've just been on an Earl Grey kick ever since. I don't know, when I got to work, they had a tea selection, and I just picked...
Selection?
Yeah, and I picked Earl Grey, and I've just been doing that ever since. I really enjoy it.
Do you put milk in it?
I don't put milk in it.
Because I really like it with just a little bit.
It's not that I don't think I wouldn't like it, it's just that I want to keep it lighter.
Yeah. I love it with the sweet and soy mocha we have. It's been... Because at Starbucks I used to... Yeah, it's really good. You got to try it when we go back and get some more from Trader Joe's. But at Starbucks all the time I would make the London Fog, which is a bag of Earl Grey, and you steep it in there with some hot water, and then you pour the rest. You just use steamed milk. But the kind that I would do is I would always add a pump of vanilla, and then I would use our soy milk.
Okay.
And it just... is the most comforting. It's liquid potpourri, but in a comforting way.
So did you get that soy flavor still?
Yeah, and there's a little bit of vanilla in the Starbucks soy. It's just really good.
Oh, there's vanilla in the soy?
Yeah, that's why it's so good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Secrets unlocked there.
We still have a coffee fact, don't have a tea fact.
Yeah, so did you guys know that the coffee bean, the bean we are all very familiar with, is actually the pit of a berry, which makes coffee a fucking fruit.
So when you're drinking all of this coffee, just know
it's juice.
That one slice of the food pyramid, you got that covered.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Between pizza being vegetables...
I was just going to say that.
Coffee being my daily fruit.
I'm honestly the healthiest person alive.
Oh my God. Stop. I really do okay, so growing up, this is totally off topic, but I feel there was never a part of me that was rejecting vegetables.
No, yeah.
I always really liked them, but I think it's because I'm so savory. Mm-hmm. I'm so salty, really, if I'm being honest.
I rejected the vegetables. I didn't get to know,
you gotta get more intimate with them.
I was always a fan of corn, as you guys know.
His husk texture.
And peas and stuff like that, but broccoli, I didn't sit down with broccoli.
Oh, see, I fucked with broccoli. And the one that I didn't really get well with was Brussels sprouts, but I was being served frozen sprouts that were steamed, and let's just say not a fan. It wasn't until I roasted them, I was like, where have you been? You gorgeous little baby tiny cabbages.
Now whenever anybody bitches about, like, Brussels sprouts, like, in a show or whatever, I'm like, you're missing out.
It's because they haven't roasted them. Every time, it's like steamed people. We gotta be awake. We gotta wake up from the steamed Brussels, and we gotta move on to the balsamic glaze. Because you haven't fucking lived. You really have not.
You really haven't.
I had this salad today that's basically, like, mostly Brussels sprout, and it's so good.
Yeah. Do you remember when they changed the food pyramid, and it was like the biggest thing? It was like
Remind me.
Like, we were in health class, and like how it used to be, like, the boxes, there's like 3 or 2 on the bottom, and then like 3 rows of boxes. You remember that?
Yeah, like rectangles.
And then now it's like slivers that, like, you just gotta see it. You gotta see a picture.
I don't remember this. This is like Pluto was probably more important at the time.
I thought that everybody was like so upset when they changed it. Like, you see how there's like slivers like that.
So it's going more vertical instead of horizontal.
And the reason they did that is because they got the dude climbing the stairs up the side, and it's supposed to show like fitness is a part of this as well.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
But how many carbs can I eat?
I don't know. I think they changed like the amounts on them too.
Well,
whatever.
The food industry is going to lie to you about how much you should be eating anyway.
The food industry is trying to tell you that you need dairy.
You need like our bones are brittle because we need to drink milk. Did you know that drinking regular ass milk is actually decalcifying your bones, and that's why we all have osteoporosis in America?
Mind is blown.
Like, the moment because like you're literally fed as a kid all the time, like, milk is strong for your bones. You got Mary-Kate and Ashley with the fucking milk stash, and they're like, the only way you will have a successful movie franchise is if you drink this milk. And we bought into it, guys. We did. I would think, like, drinking a glass of milk, I'm like, I am doing something so good for these phalanges. Like,
my teeth are so strong.
Yeah, that's a fucking lie. You probably drank way more milk than me, and your teeth are shit.
Yeah, true. Yo, unlocked.
Yeah, because I didn't drink that much milk. I was more of
it's hereditary for me, like my shitty teeth, but...
Yeah, I was a juice person. I was really into the juices. But that's off topic. Anyway, so...
I was going to say, before we get into it, just real quickly, we finished the OC.
Oh my god.
And, like, that series finale was...
really bad.
It was really horrible. It was building up to something kind of decent.
Yeah.
It, like, sort of... In respect to what the rest of season 4 was, but
it was
like,
them trying to make up for season 3 being so shit. They had no idea what to do after season 3, so they just like killed off their main character. And then you come back in season 4 and they're like, let's shake it up. And they shook it.
It ended so horribly, and the only show I could think of that I hated more was Dexter.
Oh, that's like on a different level, because you don't have high expectations from the OC.
Yeah.
But you watch the first like 4 seasons of Dexter, like you think it's gonna be
the
grand.
Shit. Yeah.
We used to like lay in bed and literally talk about what our ideas for how it would end would be.
Yep.
And
let's just say nobody got it right. That's for sure.
Oh, no, that's not true. And it's like the one show that we really, really, like, we were in that fucking community there.
Oh, yeah,
we were like, we
so
loved that show. We had merch. We don't really buy a lot of, like, merch memorabilia for, like, movies like that, and stuff. Yeah, like, I don't really... I can't think of anything that we really have right now besides, like, certain Harry Potter mugs.
Oh, yeah. Stuff
we love mugs, though. Mugs are, like, fair game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we got with Dexter.
But we had, like, Dexter posters. We had the coasters. We had the mug. I think we were going to buy, like, the box set of DVDs, which, like, useless. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Unless they get rid of it.
We had the coasters that were blood slides, and, like...
They were cool.
But we left them in PA because we were still mad at Dexter.
Because that's when it happened. We literally were like, fuck it. And somehow I ended up with, like, the hardcover books. Not the hardcover, they're the paperback. But, like,
paperback
the actual books. I don't know where they came from. Malachi, you need to take these back from me if you're listening.
He lent them to us, and then, you know, they just made it to Seattle. Then we moved to Seattle,
and I feel so bad because I'm like, dude, do you need these? Are you ever going to fucking want to read this?
We low-key just robbed them of these books.
Do you ever think about, like, where my Victorian chair went?
Oh my god.
I think about that, like, often.
That was what your grandmother
yes.
had? Yeah, and you were going to bring it. Wait, no.
I wasn't going to bring it because it didn't fit the vibe.
Yeah.
But I loved that chair. And it was a very, very nice chair. Mm-hmm. And
it was a very nice chair.
I used to, like, it was at her house, and I would just, like, sit in it all the time because I'm like, this is the bougiest chair I'll ever sit in.
Yes.
And we brought it to college with us because we didn't have space for it at my house anymore.
Didn't you used to use that as, like, your filming chair?
Probably. There was probably a time. I just picture, like, there's photos of Squeezy that I know. I have him on that chair.
Yeah.
But, like, when we moved to Seattle, we just, like, left it in, you know, at the curb.
Oh, my God.
And I remember seeing our neighbor, the one that had, like, 6 dogs, which was, like, he did not have enough energy to take care of all of those dogs. There were so many dogs in that house. But he took the chair, and I was like, rip. Oh my God, Snowball. That was like when we were living in that apartment.
Inside joke for our fucking apartment.
Yeah, they had this one dog that apparently was always up to something in our yard, and they would just be like, Snowball, in the middle of the night. Yeah. So, throwback to, you know, the land.
Oh, man. Yeah, so OC sucked.
Yeah, so that's okay.
All right, so should we talk about the heavier things? You know?
Yeah. So, obviously, a lot of things went down this weekend.
Yeah.
Both, like, in the world and also in my personal life, which...
Yes.
Some weird shit.
Things.
But, okay, overall, I've always been very afraid of guns, and I always was anti-gun, just my life. We never had them in my house.
Yeah.
And
me neither. No.
I don't even know what my family's stance is on it, but I just know that we didn't have it, and I was very comfortable with knowing that we didn't have one. Because my dad was, like, a veteran, so, like...
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be that surprising. But...
I don't know what their stance is, but...
Yeah, it's just, like, in times like this, it's, like, how much has to happen before something changes, because it doesn't make any sense that this, like... And people... are not even phased. I mean... I
know. I mean, it's because it's happening so much that we're like, whatever, it's just a fucking Tuesday.
I mean, I'm not, but
I know that, but, like, the general public.
Yeah, I know. And so, if you don't know what happened, in Orlando, Florida, this was Sunday, right?
It was... Sunday morning,
early
Sunday morning.
I happened to, like, be still up by the time it was happening, and then I could not sleep. I needed to, like,
we stayed up so late, just waiting until the situation was over.
Yeah, and it was awful. Basically, a gay club in Orlando that a lot of my friends, especially a lot of my LGBT friends that do live in Orlando, frequent. So apparently, it's a very popular club, and there was an active shooter and was able to, you know, kill 50 people and
now
injure a bunch.
Marked as the largest
mass shooting. Not the largest massacre.
The largest mass shooting in U.S. history.
So, and obviously, like, an attack on an LGBT club, like, obviously a hate crime and an act of terrorism, and apparently there's ties to ISIS. I don't really know what's going on with that.
I'm not going to claim to know exactly, because, one, they're still investigating. Yeah. 2, I haven't checked up today on, like, what has been said about it.
I think the most, like, all I needed to read was that his father said that he had recently seen, like, 2 men kissing, and that was pissing him off. Yeah. And so, like... ISIS or not, like, it's still a hate crime against LGBT community, especially so awful because it's fucking Pride Month. I mean, it's awful at any point, but, like, Pride Month too. And it was also a Latin night at the club, and there was, like, a huge trans opener, like, a big show, and it's just, it's fucking awful.
Just horrible to see, like, a place where, like, you know...
It's a safe space.
It's a safe space, and to such a really awesome community, you know, that's already...
We're just having fun.
Dealing with so much shit already.
Exactly.
And, like, it's...
And that's probably a place where, you know, I don't go clubbing. I get scared of crowds. So this is, like, literally my nightmare. Mm-hmm. And... I don't really know how it feels to, like, be at one of these places and feel like you're with family, you know what I mean? Like, that's such a community. But from what I hear from my friends, like, it's just, like, a fun, and it's just awful to think of, like, these people there and just having a good night, and then just, it's just really awful to think about. And then literally the day before, a YouTuber... at her fucking concert, Christina Grimmie.
Who was on The Voice?
Yeah.
The Voice, yeah.
And, you know, she was at a meet and greet, and, like, it's just these kinds of situations really heighten my anxiety, because I already am very, like, self-aware when I'm in a crowd or honestly in public. Like, I'm just kind of, you know, that's the PTSD from what I've researched, and also just, like, my general anxiety.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, you know, like, for me, movie theaters, after the Aurora thing happened,
You haven't been the same since.
I really haven't. And, you know, part of me is like, oh, you know, I'll joke and say that, like, we don't go to the movies anymore or that often because we're saving money. But, like, I'm not going to lie, like...
If we had money...
I would still be going less because I genuinely just, like, don't feel safe there anymore. And, you know, same thing with, like, all of these political rallies that will happen here in Seattle. Like, I do live in a fucking city now, so it's, like, kind of... Even, you know, I'm not used to that, even though I know these things can happen anywhere, but, like, large gatherings happen here, you know, and, you know, going to, like, the Bernie rally or even, like, the Hillary rally or, like, anything here, like, I did not feel safe, even though I know that those would have a lot of security. Yeah,
definitely, but... That's also, like, a very polarizing event.
Exactly, so, and you don't know, and, you know...
And since this shit's happening at, like, a fucking concert or, like, a club where everybody's just having a good time, like, a polarizing event would be heightened.
And I think, you know, before this even happened in Orlando, I was already telling Chris, like, I don't know if I feel comfortable going to Seattle Pride at the end of June. I was just, you know, I could just imagine the worst, and then this happened, and then literally the next day was LA Pride, and thank God, they caught the guy that was going to try and do harm to the Pride Parade, but he had, like, weapons and other things, and, you know, they fucking got him, of course, before he did anything, but, like, just knowing that was, like, fucking... A plan, yeah, and it's, like... You know, I just want to, like, shout out to, like, anyone. I mean, sure, a lot of people are experiencing, like, a lot of anxiety right now. But, like, especially those, like, who already feel this way and they normally feel really irrational. And then suddenly, like...
Your fear that you think is rational is realized.
Like, what I think, like, makes me the most upset is, like, hearing from other countries the way that they all, like, perceive... Like, did you know that the UK put a flight watch, like... risk thingy up for any LGBT member flying to the U.S. Like, they...
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, like...
Wait, you know what? I think I might have heard
that. Puts it into, like, perspective, like, how other countries are viewing us as, like, this dangerous thing, and yet we all live here, like, thinking, like, oh, we're, like, the greatest country that's happening, and we're the most advanced, and we're the safest and the best place where you could succeed, but yet other countries are afraid of us right now because this shit keeps happening, and we can't even stop it because we're all, like, fighting over, like, what some fucking dead-in-the-ground dudes were writing in a book about muskets.
I could tell you right now that our forefathers would be ashamed of us. They would not be happy with
especially what has been used and what was legally obtained, especially from this guy who was he had 2 prior FBI investigations, and yet he was still able to purchase these weapons, especially an assault rifle. Like, it blows my mind that it's even a fucking argument.
I know. And, like, I just think of to anybody that says, like, you know, banning all guns or whatever, doing whatever.
Adding more laws isn't going to make some people obey.
Like, isn't going to stop the criminals from getting their weapons. Number one, it will make it at least harder because we're not building them or shipping them in legally. So, like, even... if, say, they were somewhat right and we banned all guns and it saved only one life than what would have happened if, like, we didn't ban guns. Isn't that worth it?
I know.
Like, that, to me, that's worth it. Instead of keeping your shitty hobby where you're just gonna, shoot your gun at, like, some targets or whatever for fun, I think it's worthy to give that up, even if it's just for one life.
I would easily give up any of my hobbies for other people's lives to be safer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, get a fucking new one, honestly. And I get it, like, some people are gonna, you know, talk to me about, well, they want it for protection. Well, you know,
maybe it
would be a lot easier to, I think like the risk factor would go down.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just very frustrating because, like, I'm not saying like fucking, all these people that legally purchase their guns, that use them for hunting, or, like have had no prior investigations by anyone, no arrests, are like perfectly amazing people. Like, great, that's awesome. But most people that have access to guns, I do not trust.
Yes.
And people are literally losing their lives over the fact that, like, a bunch of people,
don't want to give up a hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so antiquated.
So, I know we did get a question about how this would affect meetups in the future for us and the podcast. And I did want to talk about that a little bit because I know that VidCon, which we're not attending this year, which honestly, in light of recent events, not that, like, I think anything bad would happen, like, I do feel even more comfortable, like, not attending this year, basically. And that's just, like, my own personal anxiety. Yes. Like, I don't think everybody should, I get, like, these comments from people being like, oh, you shouldn't let your fear, like, stand in your way, go to Pride, go to these things. It's like, okay, well, I wasn't already planning on going to VidCon anyway, but, I'm sorry, like, if it's a risk for me having, like, a panic attack that I can save myself, I will. Like,
It has... It's more like just like the ultra anxiety from just the situation. So
I just need a break from that. Yes. And I need some shit to happen in the world before I decide that, like, I really want to be doing that kind of shit. But it's just fucked up because, like, I know VidCon posted about their, like, security measures that they're going to be taking. And some of the things, like, when we went to VidCon, one of the things that you do is, like, you go to a panel, you have your cool YouTubers up on the fucking stage, and then at the end of it, if you, like, made a gift for the YouTuber or, like, I don't know, like, any, like, autographs, taking photos together, like, you could go up to the stage and, like, drop off your present, and now that's, like, dunzo, which it's just, like...
It sucks that it has to be that way.
And, like, they're gonna be, like, ushered out immediately, and there's not gonna be, like, leeway time for, like, the creator to be on the floor, and then it just... It sucks because it makes it, like, such a disconnect from the fans and the viewers and the supporters, but at the same time, like, these have to be taken now.
Yeah, I do not blame them whatsoever.
Oh, no, I think they should be doing everything that they need to do.
Like, they're doing random bag searches and stuff like that. And, like, if you're going, like, just cooperate with them because, like, it's gonna, like, it's
and wasn't there something
safety.
About, like, ID checking at the Hilton, too? Because they know that's where all the YouTubers stay.
You can't get into the Hilton without showing your reservation and stuff like that.
When we went to VidCon, the Hilton was like, everyone was there. No one was staying there. I mean, there were YouTubers that were staying there, but, like, most people weren't staying there.
The lobby was a fucking, like, madhouse.
And it was just people trying to get a glimpse of, like, their favorite person or, like, try to talk to them. And now that's, like, totally not going to happen. Which, honestly, I can't fault them for, like, I feel like the Hilton would have already wanted to do that because that was a mess.
Was not happy with that night.
People were literally, like, trampling people.
I looked at, like, the security people for the Hilton and they did not seem pleased.
I know, and the regular guests at the Hilton that weren't a part of VidCon, they looked so...
Yeah, there was a cheerleading competition going on too when we went, and so, like, they did not look happy.
I know.
But in regards to us...
we used to have meetups where we would just, like, go to, like, we would go to New York City, for instance, and we'd be like, hey, we're going to be in New York City. Let's meet up outside of this Sephora in fucking Times Square. Whoever, we're going to be there at this time.
Yeah.
We had no security people. We were just two college students.
Yeah.
And,
we just meet up with people.
We had, like, a couple of friends that we knew, but no one that could really protect us and no one that had anything to protect us. So,
exactly.
Anything could have happened. And now that I think about, like, how that used to be just, not really a cause for concern. I used to feel anxious about those meetups, though. Yeah. I used to think, like, what if somebody that really just didn't like me just, like, showed up?
Yeah.
And now I would never feel comfortable doing those again. And that feels horrible because that was literally only, like... like 2012 when that was happening, like 2013.
So much has changed in so little years.
I know.
But, I mean, we're not going to be doing any sort of meetups or anything like that aren't at an event that has security available or
with a brand at their headquarters or at a store with security, like in a like mall, like I don't know.
We feel horrible doing that too.
Yeah, because like our original plan was we were gonna have a meetup on Gasworks.
Yep,
but
we were just gonna go there and just hang out.
Just straight up do not feel like VidCon. 2013. We showed up. We didn't have like a legitimate meetup like with VidCon because we were no one. And so we had a meetup at downtown Disney, which I know Disney has like security, but the downtown section.
We did not coordinate with Disney on this or anything.
You didn't have to like. It wasn't, no one was watching us.
Yeah.
And I just think about, like, that scene, and we did draw a crowd, and we did have to get, like, leave, and I understand why, because, like, that's what they're trying to avoid, but now it's just, like, I definitely, in the future, if Chris and I have a meetup, it's gonna be, like, with an event, and there will be security, like, you know, not that, like, and that's the thing, like, I'm, like, not big enough for this shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not big enough to, like, hire a fucking person to, like, follow me, you know what I mean? So it's just, like, it's just, but I, you know, I just don't feel comfortable.
I don't know, like, how much it costs to, like, rent a security guard or something like that. So, like, it's got to be at, like, an event where, like...
It's happening.
Yeah.
You know? But it's okay.
So that's kind of our thoughts on, you know,
everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
But, of course, you know...
We love you guys.
We love you guys. I truly hope none of you were affected by what happened.
Yes.
I'm sure many of you are affected just emotionally, like we all are, and especially to my fellow LGBT family. You guys are amazing, and this is truly just the most sickening, disgusting thing that could have happened to such an amazing group of people that just want to be accepted for loving whoever they love and being whoever they are, and it's like literally nothing wrong with it. And like and like so much homophobia is out on the internet right now with this happening, and like sometimes I live in a bubble. Like I know my family fucking disowned me, but like I live in a bubble that's like all of my queer friends, and you know, we like to think that everybody has like the same opinion as us, but they don't, and it's fucking horrible, and I really just hope all of you are safe. And if you're planning on going to Pride or any other, you know, big, large crowd thing, like I would just really urge you to, you know, keep your guard up and just be more alert than you probably would normally.
Exactly.
And just, you know, be safe. And
if you guys can, I don't know if they're still looking for blood or anything like that, but if you guys can help out with like donating blood if you're in the area, or donating money to the families that are affected.
The donate link for the GoFundMe for the victims of the Pulse shooting is, it's pinned on my Twitter.
Okay.
So go and donate if you can. And,
just spread love, guys. Like, it's...
And vote.
And vote.
For gun reform.
Yes.
Okay? Please.
So, not Trump.
So, something that I wanted to talk about, honestly, because I sometimes use this podcast to just, like, vent.
Yes.
I had something that happened this weekend, honestly, like the same day that all of this was
all
happening.
Like in the same moment.
Literally, like the same day.
Not good.
And just like, because like with these kinds of like shootings against LGBT people, like my immediate thought is like, not that I'm in Orlando, but like I could be attending Seattle Pride, and like, I don't know, if I were a parent and I had an LGBT child, I would probably have texted them and maybe urge them to like be more safe, or like not go to a Pride event, like
even
just
if they weren't in the area, just like maybe check in. Yeah,
like just making sure like, hey, are you planning on going to anything? Like, I don't know, like that's just what I would do. And you know, so basically
you say that did not happen.
So I was like already kind of thinking about that, and I was on Facebook, and it was like when we were staying up really late, like trying to find out news. And you know how on Facebook there's that, like, other folder?
I was not aware of this until you showed me it, so I'm going to have to check that out sometime.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I did not know.
It's like, you go into...
I'm barely on Facebook anymore.
I know. The only reason why I know it was because, like, BuzzFeed posted, like, a list of, like... shit that
Facebook
you just something, and I read it and I was like, oh my god, look at all these messages. And so it's basically where all of your messages go from people that are not friends with you, so you don't see them, because like most of them are spam. And so I just like happened to check there. I haven't looked in like a really long time, and I checked in there and I found a message from my cousin Alana, who is one of my Orthodox Jewish cousins that lives like in New York. And we don't speak to most, I mean, now I don't even speak to my immediate family, but like before that, we weren't speaking to like anyone. And so I don't really honestly, it's probably been at least 10 years since I talked to this person.
Wow.
Like,
wow, that's nuts.
Like, how old was I in 8th grade? Like, whatever that was. Yes. So, you do the math. I can't right now.
That was like 2000... That was like 2006. So
okay, so like
years,
literally 10 years. Okay, so... and the context of that was, like, at my bubby's funeral. So, yes. Like, my bubby and Zeta, they are my Jewish grandparents on my mom's side. And I spent the most time with them out of, like, any grandparents, even though, So, I was very, very close to my bubby. We have a very complex, like, family relationship involving a lot of shit, which I don't want to get into. But basically, in this message from my cousin was just her informing me that my Zeta had passed away and that they were, like, holding a funeral service. But the kicker was the date on that was in fucking... like, May.
It was, like, about a month ago that you got the message.
And so, of course, I don't check this fucking inbox, like, you know? And so I honestly, like, didn't know what to do, so I immediately, like, Googled him, and I found, like, the obituary, and I was just, like, I don't know. It was just blown away because, like, okay, that's really nice that, like, my cousin, who I literally haven't talked to in a fucking decade, like, messaged me on Facebook to tell me, because honestly, it's probably the only way that she would have known to contact me. She doesn't have my cell number. But I know for a fucking fact that they called my family, who has the same home phone number since decades, like literally my whole life, has not changed. We have not moved. So I know that they know, and they did not fucking tell me.
That's so fucked on so many levels.
Like, I don't know if my mom went, because they have a very complex relationship between her and her sister and my Zeta, and they're not on speaking terms. Like, I haven't talked to him, my Zeta, since since 10 years ago. Okay. So, like, it's been a really long time. And we have, like, a really complex, like, I was all about my bubby. Like, Bubby was my favorite grandparent. She was my favorite family member of my entire life. And of course she was the first one to go, which was always like so upsetting. And he was just not a good person. Like, he was an abusive person. And, you know, do I know if I would have gone to that funeral? I don't know. It's not even about that, though. It's just, but I didn't even get the chance.
Yeah, you weren't informed of it. Like, and even if it's not...
Like, I could have made the adult decision of whether or not I wanted to be at that funeral, but to rob me of that chance, like, I would have never seen that message. Like... Mm-hmm. You know, and if I had never read that fucking, like, article, like, where to find them, like, I probably would have never even found that. Yeah. And no one fucking, like, I know that they were told. Like, I know that they were called.
They weren't.
Exactly. So,
but the fact that you could have been made aware of the passing of your dog, like, that's the worst part. They made sure to call you for that.
And, like, they try to, like, guilt me about it, like... oh my god, like, aren't you, like, feeling the grief of this dog? And, like, I don't even get me started about this whole situation. Yeah. But, like, doesn't even tell me when a fucking family member dies. Like, literally, he was the one, I spent so much time with him as a kid. He was the one that drove me to preschool, all like that. And, he was, you know, like, he took me everywhere because he used to live close by. And then they moved to Florida, and then... you know, I didn't see him as often. And we have a very complex relationship, and he wasn't, like, my favorite person in the world, but,
you have a right to know. It's a family member. You have a right to know.
It's just, like, and that's literally because, what? Because I am bisexual, and I fucking talk about the fact that they abuse me publicly now because I'm not living with them. And... you know, just expose them for the people that they are. Like, honestly. Yeah. It's just really frustrating. Like, bitch needs to go to her therapist, like, TBH. Like, this happened on, like, a fucking, like, a Saturday night, like, Sunday.
And this happening alongside of this situation in Orlando, like...
I just, like, I don't have an appointment for, like, another, like, 5 days. And I'm like, I just really want to, like, get this out there. And that's why I'm, like, talking about it here, because it's just, like... like, I pictured these things happening, but I thought I had, like, more time, and I thought that, like, more time would pass and they would cool the fuck off about being bigots, maybe, and, like, apologize or, like, at least get on, like, better terms with me before something like... ooh, just, like, punch the microphone. Before, like, something like this happened, and they would really show, like, I just...
some level of humanity, like, or, like, parental... feeling, whatever word I'm looking for, like,
So, like, what does this mean? I mean, he was my last grandparent, so, like...
Besides, if you get, like, a uncle or something, that's a little bit farther away, hopefully, for another relative to pass away.
Well, yeah, I know.
But are you going to be informed ever?
Exactly. Like, I don't fucking know. And I asked, I made a pact with myself for the new year that I wasn't going to fucking contact them, and I have been 7 months done.
6 and a little bit.
Like, I did not say anything, but this was the one where I, like, texted her and I asked her, like, if she...
Because you didn't get info, and so you thought maybe they didn't hear, because you got it in this weird Facebook message. Like,
I was kind of worried that I was going to have to, like, tell her that her fucking dad died, but I know that they know. And so they didn't even fucking tell me. So that was, like, just really, I don't know, like, I think about, like, I don't talk to them, and it's been, like... months and months and months that we don't speak, and this is probably at this point like I mean, they didn't reply, so technically we're still haven't spoken. So this is the longest I've probably gone without talking to them, and I just feel like the time is just going to keep passing, and it's just like something that I have to fucking accept, because right now I'm still kind of like hopeful, like in the very back of my mind, that they're going to like come around, but it's like not probable. So it's just one of those things, and I feel like I'm too young to be dealing with this crap, if I'm being honest. Like, I should be having fun.
Shit in 24 years.
Well, like this, like I feel like this is some I don't know.
This is some, like,
I thought, like, I didn't think I was gonna be dealing with this shit until I was at least in my 30s.
I feel you on that.
Here it is. Like, whatever, but it's fine. It's like, it'll make for a good story time. Like, I should honestly...
What is the title of that story time?
I don't know. Like, I honestly couldn't tell you, but it would have one hell of a thumbnail. I'd definitely be crying in that thumbnail.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I wanted to make a story time about the time that, like, when I came out and my dad resigned from all the games.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I don't think I could, like...
That was the most impactful message ever.
That was him. He was like, you're fucking done.
No words of friends for you.
And so, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because it's like...
It's something that happened.
I know that, like, maybe I'm on their mind right now because of all the stuff going on with LGBT people, but, you know, they probably don't even think that I'm really bi, so maybe they won't. But, like, they have to know that I was thinking about everything and feeling affected by it, because I've been running with the LGBT crowd when I was fucking denying my sexuality the whole time, and they hated it. They hated that I was only friends with gay people. I was like, well, why do you think I am? They get me. Like, it's not that hard to figure out. Oh, my God. I really don't think that, like, the signs were that hidden, that I was totally into women. Like,
now that you tell me things, and like you tell me about random experiences that, like, or different moments where, like, something happened that kind of confirms your identity. Like, you, like, it's
they
wild.
Found
like,
my Barbies scissoring and they were like, stop that, you know? Like, I just don't, you know, I just don't understand. Oh my God, the time that your sister's ex found on my tablet, like, lesbian erotica or whatever, and I was like, oh my God, totally threw what's her face under the bus. Like, it's hers, it's not mine. Anyway, just go out and be as gay as you fucking want, and
I know
I feel you, because this really sucks, but, you know, it's the last grandparent, so, like, what's gonna happen next, you know?
I know you weren't the biggest fan of him, but I'm still sorry for your loss. And
I know, I don't even have, like, it's, like, not to be, like, really emotional, but I think what really bothers me is that I don't have photos of, like, any of my childhood anymore, and I don't have photos of me and my bubby together, and just, like, anything, and it's really hard, and, like, you know, I don't even know what he looks like right now. Looked like, you know, like, I don't know. And I don't have photos of her, and I really wish I did, because it's starting to be, like, you know, fuzzy, and that really sucks, and I don't know, you know, who to ask for them from, so I don't know. It's whatever.
Maybe in the future things will get a little bit better and you can ask for a photo.
Honestly, I feel like 10 years will go by before we start communicating, if I'm being honest. Yeah. I'm very burned by this, and I don't think, like, I mean, I was already like, I don't forgive you guys for a lot of things. This just adds to, this is just, like, shit, like, the one that was like, well, that's just showing you not even being a human. Like, I think I could put a soda I could put a soda into my mouth. No, I think I could have put aside my bigoted beliefs to, like, let my kid know that her grandfather was dead. Like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I could have stopped polishing my Trump bobblehead for a fucking minute. God. And it was, the best part was Megan Tonjes and Gabby Dunn, like, dragging her. Like, I don't know if you guys are listening, but that really, like, I was in a shitty mood, and that really brightened me up. Like, Megan was that really toasted her buns. Yeah, like, Megan was like, I'm gonna fucking give me her number, like, I'm gonna call her, and then Gabby was like, conference call, and I was like, I feel so supported. Like, and honestly, I really do feel very supported by all of you guys. I wasn't sure how to, like, share it, but I was just, like, so stunned that I just fucking did it. And you benchos out there, you guys, we're all such a supportive little community. I know. We were just having a good time. And so let's move on from, you know, these topics. Go to E3, which is my Christmas, guys. Christmas. It is 2 days of just nonstop video game announcements. There's just so much. You get to learn about what's coming for the next couple of years, see so much shit. It was fantastic. Even though this year was not, like, a stellar year, it was still fun, and I enjoyed some of the things I got to see. I'm less about it. Last year was definitely better. Yeah, but I think it's because they were coming out with consoles, and so everything's more exciting when there's, like, machines. Yes. You know, not just the games, but also, basically, if you don't follow us on Twitch or watch any of our video game live streams, like, we're very exhausted of the Xbox's library of games right now. And so we really want to get a PS4. And so I was hoping that, like, maybe Xbox would come out with a lot of cool shit, new games for the Xbox One, so that it would, like, put off, you know, the urgency to get a PS4. Yeah, and there is some things that for you. Me as a bencho myself. Like, there's, like, maybe one or two that is, like, for a good stream for both of us kind of game. What are they? Honestly. The scary one, right? The Outlast game. Well, that one, there's, I don't know if the culling is something. Oh, yeah, the Hunger Games one. The Hunger Games, Inside, that was whatever Limbo's doing. Yeah, Inside. Yeah. That's it, yeah. But other than that, I'm very unimpressed. Yeah, so basically the takeaway from this whole event is that Sony fucking won. And I knew it. Out of the park. I knew it. I was like, I feel like they're going to have the most games that I'm interested in. And for the rest of the conferences, I was, like, on my phone, like, half paying attention because I was so fucking bored. Yeah. Sony, even if I don't want to get a game, I'm still, like, every game looked amazing, every game looked beautiful, and all they did was, like, show the game. There was no awkward talking. Great, because apparently the gaming community could have really, like, as a whole, taken some communication courses, if I'm being honest. I mean, like, that's not any fucking surprise. Let's get some public speaking courses out there right now. Aisha Tyler, she's, like, the only one that knows what she's doing, and that's because she's a fucking actress. Yeah, exactly. Like, everyone else was very Sony interesting. Also, like, everything that they showed was not something that is already out and just getting an update. It's, like, secret. Like, most of it was shit I've never even heard of, so they kept it under wraps, and, like, some of it was things that we've seen before but, like, are not out yet, and so they were giving us more info. It was fantastic. Yeah, like, Xbox was, like, stuff that everyone knew was coming. What was the surprise? The Limbo one? That was it? No, that we knew about that. Oh, we did. I just didn't know myself. I'm trying to think of, like, it's all blurring together now what came when. Everything's just like one giant Dorito-y smudge on my memory. I don't know if there was too much during the Xbox One that was, like, shit we didn't know about. Yeah. And EA was just like, sports. Yeah. They're giving FIFA a story. I don't know why they're doing that. Stop. I don't think any sports game player has ever asked for a story. No, Dad, I'm throwing away yours. They should do, like, an Eddie's $1 million cook-off, baseball, FIFA. FIFA's not baseball, right? No. I'm just kidding. I knew that, guys. But, I mean, I don't plan on fucking supporting FIFA anyway, because they're a shitty company as a person. Not a person, but, like, you know what I mean? I was really into the EA one, mainly for just the two games that I'm most anticipating, which is Battlefield 1
and Titanfall 2. They're just both additions to series that I really like, and they look beautiful, and they look like they're going to be fun games to play.
Bethesda had nothing that I cared about.
They had this is the year of card games, guys.
Yeah.
And the game community hates them, and I don't know why they keep making them because they're stupid.
Why are we spending time at E3 showing updates for games that have existed for a while? Like Minecraft, oh my god, new textures and skin packs. I could give a fuck less. Show me a new game.
Minecraft went on for 10-15 minutes in the Microsoft one. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Okay, cool. They added stuff to Fallout, and that wasn't that long. They added stuff to
Doom.
Yeah, it's just Bethesda was kind of boring.
They showed a new game, Quake, or a reboot of an old series.
Oh yeah, everyone was quivering over Quake.
Yeah.
Then they said that aftershocks could be felt from the last game, and I was like, but the weird thing about that game was there were these beefy giant men with huge crazy armor, and then there's one girl that you play with, and she's tiny compared to all these other people, and she doesn't even look real, and it's why did they do that?
That was so weird.
And she's wearing skin tight leather, meanwhile everyone else has crazy armor. I was like, guys, I see you.
I was sad they didn't announce Elder Scrolls 6, but
I think everyone was.
Yeah, I don't think I really expected it to happen, but I was still sad it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then
Ubisoft was...
Ubisoft is always something fantastic, just because it's so out there.
Are they the ones that did Yarny?
I don't know. No, that's EA.
Oh, okay.
That's EA.
They didn't do anything weird like that this time. And there was no, PopCap to really refresh things. Where is PopCap?
Come on, guys.
We've been playing so much Peggle. Yeah, fuck that game. Can we just bring it back? Also, Rare... They didn't do anything cool. Come on, guys.
Sea of Thieves looks very interesting to me, but, it's not Viva Pinata.
It's basically. It's not. And they need to get a new one happening, because it's been a really long time.
But Ubisoft was just it started off with
just
people dancing to Queen. There was a dancing giraffe.
Oh, yeah.
They talked about cocaine.
Yeah. And then they spent, 20 minutes talking about South Park and farts.
Oh, my God. That conference was the worst, though, because they showed 10 minutes of gameplay, then they had a
sit-down interview.
Yeah, for 10 minutes, and then a trailer after that for each game they did. It was
like the length of a Lord of the Rings movie.
It was the longest conference out of all of them. It
was too much.
And it could have been the shortest.
And they were the farts, they're now the biggest weapon, and they can actually rip space-time. And I was I'm done at this point. I really have to log off. And then Sony came, and literally everything just looks good. We need to get a PS4.
Yeah, we're going
by August.
Yeah, at least some point before No Man's Sky comes.
Yeah, because there's so many games over the years that we don't we haven't even played The Last of Us, and someone was just tweeting me today about it because they were playing it and they want us to do live stream of it. And there's just so many games that we haven't played, and they had by far the most compelling lineup of things. I even wanted to play that fucking Lego game. You
even wanted to play God of War.
Yeah.
Which is, very weird.
It was very, if humans were the Lion King, because there was, him and his cub, and it was, very Simba and Mufasa, giving speeches.
Except he was just grilling his son the whole time.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was his son until he was, my son. I was why are you dragging this kid? It's so rude. Even the Spider-Man game looks lit.
Yo, yeah, that does.
It looks
the
VR
shit, looks awesome as well.
Though I love watching people in VR helmets, sashay around.
Yeah, that's fun. A fun experience.
It's very hard for them to get the cool factor of VR on a fucking screen.
It's never
without you
happen.
being in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's that creepy paranormal activity game for VR. By the way, if you don't know what VR is, virtual reality.
Yeah, so it's a headset you put on and
you see in the game. You're there.
Yeah. They have a Resident Evil game though, which is kind of the same thing. It's gonna be super spoopy.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It looked very jump scary, and also the texture of the hands looked very oh my god. And then he looked over and there were mannequins, and they were nude women mannequins, and everyone in the cheer they were started cheering. I was it's fucking plastic tits, what's happening? Every time there was cleavage, there would be 45-year-old men being woo. It was just chill. Just calm down. Also, when like Xbox barely showed the fucking screen, and they were like, "It's snowing."
God, I don't give a fuck about the audience. Just show the screen.
I know it's been a mess, but
the last thing too is that Sony brought back out Hideo Kojima, and like he had a huge falling out with Konami last year, and like it was a whole huge scandal. And I'm happy that he's like got Sony's support now.
It literally like I felt like I was there with Norman Reedus. That's like the star of their new game.
Yeah,
and it's so weird. Lifelike. It's very, it's very, can you imagine that in VR?
Oh my God.
Very much a lot. Also, not related really to E3, but the Walking Dead game from Telltale, they released like a minute trailer of that. And Clem is a teenager.
She's grown up. We've grown up with Clem, and that game will finish on the Xbox One because we got to keep our save.
I know,
and keep our story,
our journey. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. That comes out in like the fall. I think it was like September or something.
And they're doing a Batman game too. And
that looks cool.
Looks really cool.
Yeah, hopefully, like just from the trailer alone, the graphics look definitely improved. Like Telltale has a lot of problems with their fucking engine, and like literally a moment of like really exciting like action is about to happen because it's mostly just like story. So like once you get to like you actually have to like fight something, it's like it cuts and you hear the dialogue, but you don't see any. Oh, it's so bad.
It's too much. And so they said they updated it, so let's hope that happens.
Yeah. Also, Apple had their whole thing today.
Wwdc. We didn't watch that.
I know, but I did read the highlights and big takeaways. Total changes to iMessage, like so much.
They're adding some more Snapchatty type features to it.
Just like a lot of like, you know how it's very minimalist. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's going to be cool, and I think I'm going to have fun using the features, but at the same time, I think I'm going to miss like the simplicity that we currently have.
Yes.
But you can, like, even just the way your bubble of text, like, pops up to someone, you can make it, like, more aggressive, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it's, like, maybe if it was, like, an emergency or something, like, you'd really want it to, like, show up.
Yeah, like, if you're expecting a text from somebody today is really important, you, like, set it for that day. Like, be extra today.
Be extra. And, like, now, if you type out, like, a certain phrase, it might give you suggestions for emojis to just, like, insert there. So, like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's cool, but I don't think I'll ever use that, because, like, if I want to use an emoji, I'll just use the emoji.
I feel like it's going to be kind of annoying, because it highlights things kind of like when you say, like, a calendar date, and it, like, hyperlinks it.
Yeah.
It's going to do that, but, like, it's, like, orange.
I hope that you can maybe turn that off.
Probably. But I'll fuck around with it just to see how, like, if it's too sensitive.
Mm-hmm. They also made emojis bigger.
Yeah.
They're, like, 3 times as big.
I can't wait to see the moon's craters.
And what is, like, that background thing or whatever?
All I saw was, like, one still photo, and it was, like, they sent, like, a Happy New Year text, and the background of, like, where the white space is on the message, it was, like, just fireworks. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I wonder if you could, like, for different conversations with people, you can make different backgrounds for them or something.
That would be really
That would be so funny.
I want to have text in space.
I want to just have, like, Lila's chunky thigh as the background for our conversation. Like, that would be great.
It would still be white.
So true.
I know, and also they deleted, or now you can delete all those annoying apps that come with your phone.
Thank God. That's like the most exciting. Yeah, like fucking watch app. Get out of here.
I don't have an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I don't need this app. I don't need tips.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Don't tell me how to use my fucking device. Find friends. I don't want those friends. Like, I don't even know what that is. Is that like Tinder, but like on your iPhone?
I have no idea. So like that never use folder that's on the last page.
I think mine says I hate Apple. My folder is called I hate Apple.
It's gonna be like emptied.
No stocks.
Maybe your phone will actually stop yelling at you now for limited space.
I have no fucking storage. I got like the smallest amount of data and the smallest amount of storage you could get on an iPhone because I am not bougie.
Yes, and so, you gotta have space for the Periscope and the Snapchat.
Periscope takes up so much space.
I don't know why. You have to delete it every once in a while so that way it, like, clears it.
It, like, grows. It's like, those dinosaurs? You know the like rubberized things that you put in a glass of water and then it puffs?
Those! I was like, wait, dinosaurs, what?
You had me there. No, I used to be obsessed with like anything that you threw in a cup of water and it got puffy.
Yeah.
Because like honestly, isn't that us all? We're all puffy.
That is all of us. We get pruny.
Yeah. But anyway, I think like, and they have it now where if you have like multiple Apple devices, so like say you're on your iPhone and you copy something, if you're on your Mac, you could paste it. So it's like, it saves your what is that, like your clipboard across all of your devices. Which
is really awesome.
Which is cool. I feel like that will come in handy. And stuff. But there's just been a bunch of new updates. Siri updates a lot.
They're adding Siri to Mac as well. And like if you have...
Now you can like book an Uber through a Siri.
Mm-hmm. If you have an Apple TV, you're going to get Sling.
Yes. It's like, why even have an Xbox One, guys?
Listen, the Xbox One might be a little bit poopy, but you got
some saves.
I have like a lot of gamer score.
I understand.
I can't abandon it.
I know. But
also,
there's just like a bunch of different things that is being updated, and also they're adding so that you can have like third-party apps using like the features. So you know how people
they can
have
access
like
Siri now, like
and messaging. Yeah. So they're gonna make like kind of like mods for messaging to make it like more cool or have better features.
God, it's going to be so weird.
I think that's going to be cool, though. But I think we're going to get, like... I think the one thing that scares me about all of this change with iMessage is, like, the screenshots will be so varied.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
I mean, it was a big change when we went from the green bubbles to the blue bubbles.
I know.
Like,
this is like us talking about the little things in life. Am I right?
I know that the watch is also they're adding, you can press one button to dial 911, which is kind of cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
apparently
that's
they're
really
making the lock screen of our phones like have a lot more shit that we can do on it. So I think that'll be cool, like maybe for emergencies.
Yeah,
I know that there is like the emergency thing.
Yeah, that's like all I really need on my lock screen. TBH, I don't like how much you can do outside of the lock screen.
I know. I don't want people to like be able to do much with my phone. You know?
Yeah, that's the whole point of me having a lock screen.
Yeah, so I don't even have like the text message, like the message words pop up on my screen. Like I like to have that way. Like if someone says something like around other people, like you know, it's private or something.
So
like,
when somebody is dragging
or someone sends you
a
fucking nude. Like, okay, my friend Steph, she's got a great ass, and she likes to show it off to me all the time. And she sends me, I hope she's listening, she sends me photos all the time, because that's what you do when you're friends. You just send each other your ass. And, like, if that pops up on the front of your phone when you're in public or in an interview or something, like, that could be a little not okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
But, yeah, I'm excited. When does the new iOS come out? Like, September-ish?
I'm going to have to assume that's usually when it comes out. I mean, that's when the phones typically
My phone's up in August. I'm going to wait until the new one comes out, and I might get the new one or at least a 6.
This year is the year we actually go with what's current.
I know. I like it. I've never been cool enough to do that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah, and I'm up in January, and so at that point I'll update, and man...
I remember, like, knowing people in high school that, like, waited outside the Apple Store for the first iPhone.
Yeah.
And, like, it was so rounded. And I remember, like, holding it and thinking, like, this is so cool. And it's like, you know, I don't know. It was just very cool.
And now look at where we've come from.
I know.
Where we are.
It's very interesting. But, yeah, I guess we could get into some questions just to round it all off here.
So I'm going to go to Patreon because Patreon binges get your privilege, and that's at patreon.com/CoffeeWithChrachel if you want to help support the show, get some cool-ass perks, learn more about...
Cool-ass perks.
Cool-ass perks, yeah, what are those?
I don't know, but I'm into it. Coffee with Crachel.
Okay, so Taylor asks, currently watching Brunch at Bobby's, good show, and definitely thought of you benches. What do you think first made you both get so into the Food Network / cooking channel?
It was just always on.
Yeah, and, like, there's nothing, like...
Watching people eat.
It's food. Like, what's ever upsetting about that? Maybe if you watch, like, Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern, like, that might be a little...
Yeah, buggies.
Maybe if you're not interested in that, but, like, otherwise, you're just watching people make delicious food and eat it.
And critique it and describe texture and flavor.
You never have a bad time on the Food Network.
I know. Like, even the bad shows are watchable.
Yes.
Like, you can't say that about TLC. Am I right?
When I was at home and I was just channel flipping, like trying to find something to watch, I'd always end up on the Food Network because, hey, there's something here that I want to watch.
I've been obsessed since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was just always on, and I also was really into HSN and QVC as well.
Oh, okay,
I found them very therapeutic. Never have ordered anything from either of those websites.
But listening to people pitch you products.
I love it when like they have like a moisturizer and they just like keep applying it over and over again to their hand, and they just like it's like they are using so much product on that one little hand, and they're just like over and over again, like the velvety smoothness. If you call right now, we have like a bulk order ready for you.
I wonder if their hand felt like so smooth after that.
Too smooth. But there was also this one guy, I can't remember if it was HSN or Food or QFC. What? QVC. I'm pained. But he would always do the food, and he would always like eat a lot of the food when he was like doing it, and he would be like, ho ho ho, and I was like, that is me. So yeah,
I would. Yeah, I didn't watch nearly as much as that stuff.
Girl, I know.
Mackenzie asks a controversial question, but would either of you get plastic surgery, and if so, what would you get?
I'd probably get Botox at some point in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I right now in this moment, I have nothing that I would be like, I'm going to get plastic surgery to fix this. But like, I'm not going to say never, and it's totally cool if you want to get plastic surgery too.
Yeah, I absolutely could see myself getting Botox and a boob lift.
Yeah.
I don't want bigger boobs because they're annoying and that's why they're sagged. But like eventually I'd probably perk them up when I felt like spending a lofty amount of money on my tits. You know what I mean? I spent a lot of money on like food. Yes. You know? I don't know. They're both valuable things to spend money on, if we're being honest.
Yeah, so plastic surgery, it's cool if you want it, maybe sometime in the future.
I watched a video the other day about lip injections.
Oh my god.
And I have no lips. Like, if anyone's getting lip injections, it should be me. If we're they're so honest. Like, every time I put lipstick on, I gotta take 10 minutes to do it because they're so not even. But I think I just can't do it because I've just watched too many videos where it's gone wrong and I'm just done. Plus it's expensive for it not being permanent. Though I don't know if I'd want it to be permanent. You know, it's just very complex.
Seems expensive with a lot of negative turns it can take.
Yeah. I don't like to put a lot of risk into things. I'd rather do it to my hair because I know that, at least I can, just buzz off, start scratch, you know? But anyway.
Do you have any questions that you are seeing that you like?
Girl, of course I do. I know you guys have a really good relationship, but if you were to break up, would it be over?
Or is that supposed to be what would it be over?
Oh, what would it be over? That is literally what it says. I'm just fucking stupid.
I thought I had read that and I was like, wait a minute, what are you reading?
Oh, God. You'd have to, murder a cat.
Oh, my God.
You'd have to, literally just anything where the cats were not being taken properly cared for.
Yes.
That made no sense. That would be enough.
I understand what you're saying.
Also, if you voted for Trump, probably grounds to break up with you.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely true. I those chunks. Just thinking about anything negative happening to them.
Girl, not on my watch. Not on my watch, bitch. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what could happen. Honestly, anything could happen. Am I right? We're just kidding. I don't know if you guys have ever answered this before, but how is Millersville as a college? I'm a senior and considering it.
It's cheap.
It's definitely cheap and a very easy to get to know campus. It's small enough that you will not get lost, and it's very walkable.
Yes.
If you like swans, there's 2. Don't get that close. But from afar, they're nice for a good Insta.
All right, so that's the pros list.
They've got a good education program, and from what I hear, music is also highly recommended there.
And it's one of 2 meteorology programs in the States.
But there's no jobs meteorology, so fuck that one.
Just get a computer science degree, guys.
Do it. But yeah, I mean, it's not I don't think people are I went to Millersville, and people were oh, Chauncey, that's amazing. I definitely don't think that happens.
Chauncey.
That's my bougie voice. But if, you need, a cheap education and,
That's not horrible.
It's not bad. It's just not, incredible, but they keep renovating it, so that's cool. Apparently the dorms are about to be really lit.
Yeah.
They totally knocked down... Okay, so you know what's great? Chris and I literally will never be able to go to the spot where we first met because it's been demolished.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That door that I held open is
held
guys.
It, you fuck
Or yeah,
ass.
that you held open.
Okay, we all know that Chris doesn't remember the first day we met.
But I know that you were the one holding the door.
Yeah, do you?
I was the one.
And now that door is gone, just like our memories. It's okay. But yeah, it was not bad. There's just not a lot to do in that area, so like get a lot of good books and video games.
Exactly.
Or a cat. That was also helpful.
We did all three.
We really did. Okay. This is mostly for you, Chris, but why is what is happening? I can't read today. What Harry Potter book is your favorite and why? It's not even that hard to read.
God. Well, that's a very hard question. I'm going to have to say it's a tie between Deathly Hallows because I liked the way that the story ended and it was a great read, and just for Snape's chapter at the end. Yeah. Because it's everybody's favorite. And also The Order of the Phoenix because that was just the very end when they're in the Ministry of Magic and all of the obstacles they go through. That was so much.
They put that Phoenix in order. It worked so well. My favorite book is the one that doesn't have the giant spider.
So
any of those.
Yes.
Not the last one. Or at least in the movie they showed up again and I was like, why though? No one asked for you.
Yeah.
I don't care if he was nice. He was too beefy for me. I didn't like it. Squeezy and Lila each take a vacation. Where do they go and what activities do they book for themselves? I really like this.
Man.
Okay, Squeezy goes to Silicon Valley to pitch an idea.
Yes.
That's his vacation. He never vacations. It's only work.
He tries to take a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge, and, it's foggy.
He shivers.
That's foggy. It fucks up.
The only activity he does is one facial at, a really highly recommended place on Yelp. Because he's very clean and groomed. And
he takes pictures of really steep roads.
Yeah. Now, Lila would go to, a county fair. And she would be mostly interested in the petting zoo.
And she'd also get a lot of cotton candy and funnel cakes.
Yeah. Oh, my God. She would get so much cotton candy.
Oh.
She's pretty cute.
She is a little puffy cotton candy herself.
I know. Squeezy with his nice dermabrasion.
Yo, guys, Lila over the past couple of days has been, so in love.
I know. She's been so tender. She's been, up our ass. Maybe she feels like she needs to support us. Squeezy has been also up my ass, but in different ways.
All right, should we do one more question?
All right. Well, we do have a comment here from Occasional Vlogger who says, I don't drink coffee while listening because I listen at the same time during the evening or before bed.
Rachel, what is happening? Windy over here. What is happening?
I don't know. I'm just not having a good day.
Oh, man. Okay, well, thank you for listening. They're saying that, they listen as soon as
Yeah, they listen before at evening time, and so that's why they don't drink the coffee. I just thought it was worth mentioning. Go for.
Shout out to you, occasional vlogger.
Yeah. I occasionally vlog. I don't, actually, but,
your Snapchat is kind of.
It's an occasional something. And I would say the last question that we can talk about here is, if the Chunks could talk, what types of personalities would they have, and what would their first words be? I think we know their personalities pretty well, but the first word, I think Lila would say,
I love you guys.
Yeah, I love you. And Squeezy would just be driver, lock the door on your way out. I don't know.
I feel like it would just be a huff as he runs away because he just tripped.
It'd be whatever. That's what Squeezy would say. But yeah, all right, I guess we should get into binge time.
Yeah, if you guys want to have a question, answered, you can ask them using hashtag CoffeeWithChrachel on Instagram or Twitter.
Yes. So, all right, binges, stay tuned. For the rest of you guys listening, thank you for having a cup of tea, actually, today.
Yes.
And we hope that next week is a lot better.
And by next week, we mean in a couple days.
Every day of the week. Literally all days should be better, okay? We love you guys.
Yeah, bye.
All right, benches.
The list for this week is what you guys are doing while you're camping. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything that we talked about, but what?
We're doing it.
It's just a situation that we have not explored yet.
Bench nuts roasting by an open fire. Campfire, am I right? All right, well, let's start it off with Nicole, who is pouring some coals to start a fire.
Beautiful. Carissa is carefully packing away their supplies so no raccoons can get to them.
Tag yourself, I'm the raccoons. Sloan Nolan is blowing out a lantern before going to sleep.
Ray Vendiero is venturing into the woods for some sticks to burn.
Sarah Booth is putting on some hiking boots.
Allison Sense thinks these tent assembly instructions make no sense.
Hunter Curtis had the courtesy to clean their campsite before they left.
So
Good
nice.
one.
Megan Rackley is pulling more supplies off the roof rack off of their car.
Skylar Medley is staring at the night sky through the trees.
Taylor Collins is trying to make a call but is getting no reception.
Heather Ann hopes the weather holds out for the night.
Sloan Fuller couldn't be fuller after all those s'mores.
Oh man, I want some now. Emma Corbeil can't believe there's no Wi-Fi in this tree.
Danielle Manus is yelling in the woods because they got lost.
Always yelling. Kate Convery is having a conversation of all things with a park ranger.
Angelica Feliz is hoping their dog that they brought with them doesn't get any fleas.
Canine advantage. I had like tea in my mouth when I said that. Sarah Cook is cooking a stew over the flyer.
Jennifer Cornwell is making a Jiffy Pop popcorn over the fire.
Sophia Cock is sleeping on the sofa inside this camper.
Ash Rozelle is making sure there's no lit embers in these ashes.
Lit. Nicole Allen is lending a hand to their friend who couldn't get their tent set up.
Cody Castile is not sure camping with a cast on their leg was the best idea.
Beth Fonseca could use a nice bath after falling in some mud.
Oh no. Cornelia Thulin is chomping down on some freshly grilled ears of corn. Yes!
There's always corn in here. Sophie Adams is adding an extra chocolate bar to their s'more for extra texture.
Christina Contreras is sleeping in the teeniest tent.
Megan Grint is grinning because they just assembled the perfect s'more.
Jade Holden is holding a citronella candle because these mosquitoes won't stop biting.
Allison Dowell didn't bring a towel to the showers and had to walk back naked.
Oh my god.
It's horrible.
Catherine Simpson is simply loving the fresh forest air.
Bridget Carey Davis hopes this bridge won't crack under the weight of their RV.
Marlene Naj is nodding off to the sound of raindrops on the roof.
Gio Castro is casting their fishing line into a lake.
Cater Liriano feels like there's a bear leering at them from the woods.
Who is she? Rebecca O'Donnell put plastic in the fire and now there's a weird odor.
Kendall Burr is saying burr because they didn't bring any blankets.
Kendall, what are you doing? Camping without blankets. Allie McGregor is keeping a tally of all the different animals they see.
Megan Grilly is grilling a hot dog over the roaring fire.
Fabulous. Roast that ween. Chloe Killip found a 4-leaf clover.
Ian Murphy thought they just heard someone murmuring. Creepy.
It's so scary. Cassandra Buckout thought they just saw a buck.
Maddie Pullman can't stop this tent pole from collapsing.
That's the worst. Amanda Marie is amazed by how quiet nature is.
Jane Shell shelled out the big bucks for this RV with all of the amenities.
Honestly, me. Jackie Bergiulio is really glad they brought a thick jacket.
Thick with 2 C's. Camellia Malky found a chameleon while they were in a walk in the woods.
Where, though? Like, how? Caitlin Whalen is wailing because they just touched some poison ivy.
Oh, no. Hannah Neely is kneeling to turn the crank on their pop-up camper.
Lucy Ravenscroft has woken up by the loud caw of a raven.
Cody Robinson is watching a robin fly through the trees.
Tegan Anderson is using a percolator to boil some water for tea.
Lauren Siobhan rented an RV for this camping trip.
Taco Roach just found a large roach in their tent. Haha, see, it wasn't a taco this time.
Allison Francois is frankly not into sleeping in a tent.
Haley Cadwaller is trying to lift the wall of their pop-up camper, but it's stuck.
Sarah Seaman is camping by the sea and getting a nice salty breeze.
Very nice. Dana Daly is taking a daily stroll to the lake.
Megan Wilson is pulling out the bag of mega-sized marshmallows.
Jackie Lampo is trying to light a kerosene lamp.
Claire Wood loves being out in the woods.
Amazing. Kelly Adams is adding more logs to the fire.
Hannah Peterson is putting some gloves on their hands because it's getting a little chilly.
Jenna Gordonier's campsite is near a road and ruining the aesthetic.
Sasha Smith is sharing some of their homemade trail mix.
Yum. Sarah is scared of the growl that they just heard.
Oh no. Bridget Dubin is doodling the different leaves they find.
Lynn Vance is taking advantage of their RV's air conditioning.
Hillary Gay made sure to put their tent on a hill so it didn't get flooded.
Anna Hernandez is camping too far into the woods and is feeling desolate.
Jennifer Holtz hopes there's no holes in their tent.
Courtney White just dropped their white blanket in mud. Honestly, why'd you bring that?
Elizabeth Doles is doling out a large portion of Muddy Buddies.
Oh my god.
Shout out if you know what Muddy Buddies are.
Shelley Smith is seeking shelter after a downpour.
Mackenzie Knight is listening to the sounds of the forest at night.
And Rachel Evans is eventually going to get a fire started.
Come on, Rachel.
Just rubbing those sticks. Nothing's happening. Now, I would say the rest of the beach bonches are the mosquitoes flocking in the outskirts of the citronella atmosphere.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, you blood-sucking bitches.
We got Stephanie Boscovich.
We got Allie Malone.
Mariah Hanna.
Kathleen Wynn.
Elena Barcia.
Zoe Armowick.
Elizabeth Holbrook.
Rose Barnett.
Jax.
And Megan Paredes.
Thank you guys for supporting the show.
We love you.
Everything to us.
Thank you for camping also.
Yes, I love camping.
And I've only gone once, and, it's not enough, maybe.
Maybe one day we'll go camping in the Washington wilderness.
Girl, not after reading that one Reddit no-sleep thingy about
thank
woods.
you.
Honestly, never. Thanks for having a cup of coffee with us, guys.
Yeah, we'll clink again.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
Nice dual clink. Bye.
That was a HeadGum podcast.